What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and you all know how excited I get at the beginning of every single month, and that is because we have some really cool data sets that we've been looking at since the beginning of this channel, and the more we look at them, the more we can get from them, and the more finger on the pulse of what's going on in the hobby as a whole, and it's just a really exciting time, at least for me as a big Pokemon data hound. So some of the things we look at is we're going to be looking at the grading report video here soon, right? That's where we look at the actual grading data from SGC, CGC, Beckett, and most importantly PSA, because they're the biggest in terms of grading volume. We'll look at the most graded cards, the most graded characters, the most graded sets. Then we're going to get a data set from TCG Player where we're going to look at the 10 cards that exchanged hands the most last month on their website. And again, talk about having a finger on the pulse of the hobby. Seeing the cards that move the most in that particular environment is really impactful, and I absolutely love that. But I always start the month off with this video series where I tell you where I'm looking to spend some of my Poke funds in the month ahead. And this month, I'm taking a little bit of a different approach, and I'm very, very excited for this approach. So you all know, if you've been watching this channel at all, that in my stock market investing side of things, I'm very much a Warren Buffett fan. And when I'm in the middle of a market and it's acting a little funky, and I'm not saying that the Pokemon market right now is acting funky, but we've got the alt arts that are in the middle of coming down, like even some of the Sword and Shield booster boxes are starting to flatten out. We're seeing some of these early illustration rares and special illustration rares in Scarlet and Violet take off. I mean, the prices are really, really high. So in a market like this, what I try and do is I look for value, and I love this saying. So this is actually from Benjamin Graham, and Benjamin Graham was kind of like Warren Buffett's mentor. So it talks about the stock market, and this is absolutely applicable here in the Pokemon space. And it says, in the short term, the market, which we'll consider the Pokemon market, in the short term, the market is a voting machine, and in the long run, it's a weighing machine. And that basically just goes to tell you, in the short run, there can be all kinds of hype around certain cards or characters, and there can be all kinds of things that drive all of these votes. Everybody's excited about it. So we see prices spiking like we saw with all of those alt arts here recently, right? But in the long run, over the course of 3, 5, 10, 15 years and beyond, it's going to be a weighing machine. And by the weighing machine, it means heavyweight, quality cards that have really strong fundamentals, right? We look at their grading population, we look at the gem rate on them, we look at the characters that are on them. Like, there's just different things that you can look at to say, hey, listen, no matter what's going on in the market right now, in the long run, rethink these cards, these products, these sealed items are going to have a great opportunity for long-term returns. And you know that on this channel, I'm not somebody who flips a lot of my collection. I am in it for the long run. I am in it to hopefully hand it down to my kids someday, or if they're not interested in it, this would be a fantastic set someday to hand over to an auction house, or maybe even to sell by piecemeal on eBay. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm definitely in it for the long run. And I thought, just with everything that's been going on in the market here in the Pokemon space recently, this was a really cool thing to call out. Is just remember, in the short run, it's a voting machine, and in the long run, it's a weighing machine. Quality and rarity and exclusivity is always going to drive value in the long run. So with that being said, listen, before I get into things I'm spending my money on this week or this month, if you are excited about all of that data-driven content I talked about, if you like the vibe of this video and you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you as a member of this community. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, and if you have questions or comments, drop them down below. I got a small channel here. Those 3 small things help me out, and I really appreciate it. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. And I have not highlighted anything like this in a while in my investing videos, and I am very, very excited to do this. So I have been almost exclusively sealed for quite a while, and this might surprise you to see these tag team cards on here right now. Now, I watch PTCG Radio. That is pretty much the only other YouTuber that I watch, and it's simply because I don't want to muddle my thoughts and opinions with those of others, and it's hard if you watch other people. It's not because the other PokeTubers aren't great. It's simply because I want to try and keep my thoughts my own. But anyways, he was talking about, and he's got a real good finger on the pulse of what's going on in the Pokemon space as a whole in terms of cards and sets being launched, and he was talking about how there's a rumor mill about possible tag team cards coming back sometime in the future. And so what we saw with those mega cards, right? Like, absolutely, when we heard that Mega Evolution was coming back to the DLC further down, I think it's in the beginning of 2025, we saw all the Mega Evolution cards really take off from the XY era, and they are still hot right now. So in my mind, I'm thinking, listen, even if this is a rumor, can I find some tag team cards that I think might be a little bit undervalued right now? I think Sun and Moon as a whole is a little bit undervalued right now. So is there some tag team cards that are a little undervalued, preferably under that $20 price point, where I feel really good with the downside protection, but really good that if there are tag team cards, if we see the type of trend like we saw with the mega cards from the XY era when the Mega Evolutions was announced in the game itself, is there some cards that I think have a really bright future? And these are some of them right here. Now, If you look down at the bottom, those are the sets that they come from, and you'll see that I am looking for some of the sets that have a whole lot of heft in them. So of course, I have these two from Team Up right here, and then you know I love big name Pokemon, right? You got Venusaur on the one, you got Eevee and Snorlax on the other. Everything Eevee touches from an Eevee or Evolution standpoint right now is going absolutely nuts. So I love the fact that you can get these two cards. They're a tag team card. The artwork is awesome. They're under $20 each, and they're both from Team Up, so I will be hunting for them. And then on the next card, you got an Umbreon, right? Like I was saying, again, Evolutions, and this card is under $20, and it's from Unified Minds, one of my top 4 favorite sets from the entire Sun and Moon block. And then on the right-hand side, you got Cosmic Eclipse, you got the Blastoise and Pulpit right there. Like, I absolutely love that card too. So these are what I'm looking for from a singles card price point right now. Now, it could totally turn out that there is no Tag Team version 2.0, even though I don't think it will be tag teams. I think it will be something named differently, but there is no combination of different Pokemon or Pokemon and Trainer on a card, or that might not happen. So at the end of the day, I'm always looking to protect the downside, and I think these cards are absolutely awesome. They're from really solid sets from the Sun and Moon era, so even if nothing materializes, I feel good, and I always like when I have some chase cards to go after, or at least some singles cards that I can be searching for on eBay. So keeps me occupied. I'm excited for this, and if all things come together, there could be some awesome upside in it. The next thing that I'm looking at right here, now I featured this last month. I said, okay, listen, at Costco, you can get these 151 Ultra Premium Collection boxes. They're $89.99. I had heard that if you go into store, you can get them for $79.99. I went to 2 Costcos, and I could not find them, but I have heard that you could. So all I said was this: I think 151 is a hot set. I think even though it is rumored to be reprinted, but I have been saying for 3 or 4 months now, if they don't reprint it, Pokemon Company International is out of their mind. They absolutely have to reprint it. It is silly. It would be irresponsible fiscally for them not to do it, because they would be leaving so much money on the table. And now every PokeTuber that I see that comes up when I'm uploading my videos, all I see is 151 English reprint, 151 English reprint. What do we know? So I think there's a lot of excitement around it. But again, this should come as no surprise to any of us. We've talked about it for a long time. It makes all the sense in the world. So this month, I'm talking about a different product at Costco. And guess what? I don't care if 151's reprinted. I really don't. Like, it's expected at this point. But again, when I'm looking at the long term, when I'm looking for absolute cards with heavy weight to them, when I'm looking for sets with tons of weight to them that I think are going to just, no matter what happens, just kind of withstand the test of time, withstand all the reprints, 151 is certainly one of them. And I don't think on the English side, we're going to see what we saw on the Japanese side, where they just printed it, into oblivion. So this thing right here, you can get the 2 legendary tins, right? One of the tins has 5 packs, one of the tins has 4 packs. You get a 151 Elite Trainer box, and it's for $79.99. It comes in a nice little bundle. This is something that I am really excited about. Now, when you look at these individually, when you break them out from a pricing perspective, the ETBs are going for about $65 right now. If there is a reprint, restock, whatever you want to call it, obviously that price will come back down closer to MSRP, right? And then you've got these other tins right here. You got $14 in one, $14 in the other. So, I mean, if you think about it, the value right now already exceeds the price point at MSRP again. But what I'm saying is this: even if it's close, those tins will be worth more than $14 in the future, right? These are prices straight from TCG Player. Those tins will be worth more. This Elite Trainer box, it might take a couple years, but the Elite Trainer box is going to be worth more. So this is certainly a product that I'm very excited about, and I am going to be adding. And again, on this next one, remember, we're talking about quality, and this might surprise you all, but if you've been watching this channel for a long time, we have done data dives into 3-pack blisters and how liquid they are and how much they sell for and their rate of return over time. And 3-pack blisters are actually a really solid investment over the long run, and especially when you can get them from these super like highly popular sets, which Fusion Strike is. And the thing I love about this 3-pack blister of Fusion Strike right here is, remember what I said about Eevee? It's got the Eevee promo card in it. It's available at MSRP on the Pokemon Center right now for $12.99. And if you look at it on the secondary market, I even went over and I clipped out some of the most recent sales on eBay, and you will see the one sold for $17.99 plus $4.02 in shipping, and the other one, a 2-pack of it, sold for $34.99 plus $4.99 in shipping. Like, these secondary market value, these are actual sold on eBay, right? Like, these are actually selling for a higher price than you can buy them on Pokemon Center right now. And then I thought, well, listen, there was more than one different Fusion Strike variety. So I went and looked at the one that was sold out, and that is this one right here. Okay, so you got the Espeon version right here, and guess what? The sold out one is already going for $22.99 according to TCG Player. So if you think about that, there's no way on God's green earth that the Eevee is going to be worth less than this once it sells out. So you can buy it at $12.99 right now. It will guaranteed end up at a $22.99 or more price point in the relative future. So you're looking at almost a $10 arbitrage right there. You buy it at one price and you can almost turn around and sell it for a different price at a later or at the same time. So Super excited about this. I love Fusion Strike, huge Gengar fan. Love that my man Gengar is the highlight here of the set. So Fusion Strike, really great quality, really great product that has a long track record of success. That is what I'm looking for this month, and I'm super excited to include this one on the list. And then this one right here, okay, I was trying to stay out of the ultra modern, but as you know, on Monday I did a video where I talked about Stellar Crown, and I'm very excited about Stellar Crown. Now, I always buy cases of the Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. It is going to be the most exclusive, the most rare sealed product of this set, just like it is with every set that has come out in Scarlet and Violet. But I'm actually going to be picking up a case of the booster boxes as well. I usually don't pre-order the booster box cases, but I'm looking for it right now. And you see that this one is at $599.95, which you might think is really, really high. But for quality sets, I don't mind. Again, remember, MSRP is now like $161. So if you're paying $100 per booster box, I'm getting it from eBay. I'm sure you can find it cheaper on some crazy websites or something, but I feel really safe with eBay. So hey, listen, I'm okay paying $100 a booster box because, again, further down the road, I love the cards that are in here. You got the Bulbasaur, you got the Squirtle. I mean, the list goes on and on. I think it's going to be a really solid set, and I just want to make sure that I've got my case locked in nice and early. So I'm going to have some Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, and I'm going to lock in a case of booster boxes nice and early and well. Now the next one right here, this is my flyer. You know that I sometimes like to throw a flyer in here, something kind of out of left field, something that I'm kind of on the fence on, but this is one that actually it was a comment in one of the videos that I did recently where I was talking about some unloved sealed product, and somebody said, don't forget about the True Steel Premium Collection box. And so I started doing some research into it, and it is going to run you $100, and there is different varieties of this box, just like every other box that Pokemon prints, which I absolutely hate, right? The first print run has certain packs, the next print run has another one, but this one right here, this is what it would take for me to buy it, and this is what I'm really thinking about buying this month, which is I want it called out. I either want an actual picture of the box that I'm buying where I can see the XY Evolution pack and I can see the Team Up pack, or I want it to be called out in the description right here. But I'm telling you, if I get exposure to the best set from the entire Sun and Moon era by getting a Team Up packs are going for like $50 a pop right now, and I get a top 3, top 4 pack from the XY era, right? Obviously, XY's got Flash Fire, it's got Phantom Forces, like those are 1, those are 2, and you can argue about who's going to be 3 or 4, but Evolutions is simply up there, even though it was printed into absolute oblivion again. But I think if you can get those 2 in this box, plus you get a couple Darkness Ablaze, there's a couple other packs in here, nothing really exciting. But I think it's a great buy. I really do. I think from a buy and hold perspective, this is from the original Sword and Shield era. I mean, this is from early on in Sword and Shield, so you're already starting to get that age premium, which we talked about when we looked at sealed boxes. As these boxes go on, then guess what? The gap between the pack value inside of it and the market value of it gets bigger. It becomes more premium the older it gets. So if I could stash away something with Team Up in it and XY Evolutions in it, I think that would be a really cool thing to add to the collection. And again, I just can't imagine what the value of that would be 5, 10, 15 years down the road from now. So those are the things that I'm going after this month. I've got a lot of decisions to make. You know, I can't always buy everything that I talk about, but all of these are what's swirling around in that Pokemon brain of mine. So let me know in the comments down below what you like. And hey, listen, if you have questions or comments, I try and answer them all. If you like what you saw in the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you made it to the end and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, we do fun stuff like this all the time. Hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a member of the community. I can't thank you enough for watching. I hope you have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.